Foster writes, y'all rock. My question is about the rating for next year's Suicide Squad. What are the chances this will be an R-rated movie? I figured based on the fact that the story follows villains, a scene where Joker tortures Harley Quinn, and David Ayers' history of directing R-rated films, that this might have the chance of being R-rated. Am I crazy for thinking that WB would even consider doing this, or is there a reasonable chance this could happen? Anyway, thank you guys for all that you do.
Two sides to this. Number one, don't underestimate how much you can actually get away with today in PG-13. You can do a lot in PG-13 and get away with it. Now, at the same time, though, we now live in a world, look, it's often like, who's going to be the first penguin to dive in the water to see if there's a seal waiting there to eat you? You ever see those pictures, like 100 penguins needing to go into the water to try to find some fish, but they're waiting for the first one to go in to see if there's a seal there, right? Deadpool was that penguin. Deadpool took the dive into the water. Now, I know there have been R-rated comic book stuff before, but nothing in this modern age of shared universes and all that kind of stuff. One of the things that I always thought would be hard to make a Deadpool rated R film is that if they have plans to mix Deadpool in with X-Men, if they have plans to mix in Deadpool with a PG-13 universe, it makes it a little bit tricky. But Deadpool is the first guy to dive into the water to see if we can make this work. And now that the first penguins dived in, look, I still think they're going to do Suicide Squad PG-13. They're putting Batman in it. They want it to be very marketable. They want to do all that kind of stuff. But I don't think you're crazy for thinking that they at least consider it or did consider it. I mean, the movie is pretty much shot now, so it's going to be whatever it's going to be. But I don't think you're crazy for thinking that at some point the execs at WB at least considered it. And if Deadpool works, and by working, I mean the business side, if Deadpool makes money, you, I think, are going to see a lot of studio. You're going to see Fox and you're going to see maybe even Marvel. That's hard to imagine. But certainly a WB with their universe, maybe sit back and go, maybe we can consider R-rated stuff. So will it happen? I don't think so. I think Suicide Squad will be PG-13, but I don't think you're crazy for thinking they considered it. Schnepp, what do you think's going on there?
I personally think never would Warner Brothers take any of their DC characters. That's why I think they spun that Vertigo. Remember, they separated a couple weeks ago. They were like, look, this is where Sandman and these other characters are going to live, and they can be R-rated.
Good point.
I think Warner Brothers, specifically Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, all their main core, their superhero characters will always be either PG or PG-13. The minute they go to R, it's gonna upset that balance. I think personally, I don't see Marvel, because especially now that they're owned by Disney, I don't see that happening either, them pushing past a PG-13, because I agree with you. Yeah. There really isn't a reason within this, except for like super rare ones like Deadpool, which makes sense to push those boundaries. And it's cool that Fox is taking that risk. But once again, Fox is not affiliated with Disney. So there's these ramifications that happen to the, we were talking about business and art. There's the ramifications that happen. Like, look, we don't want all these angry parents coming at us and creating all the, so there's a lot of like things that you're not considering when you're like, I want it to be like this and it should be real and this and that. You can get a PG-13 rating and still have Suicide Squad. You can still have death, murder, explosions. But it just, you might not just be seeing somebody's face getting peeled off,
Once again, you just described the scene here in the offices every day. All right, David, what do you think?
Well, I don't want to necessarily see a rated R, especially like Justice League, let's say. That's not going to happen. Like, I agree. I don't think it's ever going to happen. But when you do something rated R, you have to make concessions. You have to drop your costs. I mean, I know when Vin Diesel did the new Riddick film, I know he had to like take a mortgage out on his home. He said if that failed, he would have been close to, he would have probably had to file for bankruptcy. So I remember he said he wanted to be rated R, no questions asked, like, okay, we'll give you 30 million to do rated R. If you got to do PG-13, we'll give you more money. I know Ridley Scott for Prometheus wanted somewhere over $200 million rated R. No, we'll give you 100 something. We're not going to give you $200 million. So I want to see a little bigger budget. I want to see the huge special effects and I want to see as much money into the film as I can. Not that money makes the film better, but in those big epics, I want to see that. So if they're going to make a rated R, they're going to have to drop the budget on it. And I don't think I want to see that. For Deadpool, it's okay, but not for one of the big crossovers.
Well, they're not spending $120 million
no,
on Deadpool.
Exactly.
So it's going to be really interesting to see what a major studio, this is one of a million reasons I'm excited about seeing Deadpool, but a big major studio taking a comic book character, making the movie for like $40-30 million budget, and see how it does. I think there's a lot of reasons. The rated R thing, the budget thing. I think a lot of people are watching this movie with a lot of anticipation to see how it kind of evolves.